It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Yeah, he's excited. Season's greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to a very special holiday edition of Nerd Culture. What we're going to do on this show, we are going to give you some ideas of some gifts, specifically from the DC universe that you can either add to your personal collection or gifts that you can get for family members, friends, coworkers, that sort of thing. Not alone in this one. I'm joined by the new kid that has joined our team at Nerd Culture. Nick, how are you today?
I'm great right now. I love DC animation. That's actually their bread and butter. And that's actually how I got into DC in the first place. It wasn't really the comics, it was the animated shows, it was the animated movies. This is actually like one of my favorite things. I'm so excited for this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you who are watching us live, or if you're catching the replay, feel free to share this video, like, comment on it. And if you have any ideas, any suggestions, any questions about some of the things we're going to bring up on this show today, drop them in the live chat. We're going to be monitoring it as we go throughout the course of today's show. So to kick things off, just to give everyone a heads up, this is how it's going to work. We each have 3 specific titles that we are going to present to you and say, hey, these are things that we believe would make good holiday gifts. And with that, you know, everyone has their own tastes. Everyone has their own favorite characters or favorite iterations of certain characters. And hey, opinions are opinions. Take them with a grain of salt. If you agree with us, that's great. If you disagree, that's fine too. Hopefully these titles will cater to a certain person or a certain group of your friends, your family, your coworkers, that sort of thing. So to kick things off, Nick, what's the first title for DC holiday gifts that you want to present to our audience?
Well, the first pick in the 2020 DC animated draft, I'm going with Batman Under the Red Hood. I think this is kind of obvious because this is one of his best stories. I know it's everywhere, especially with how Death in the Family is out, where you can pick your own adventure. But to me, I got to go with the classic. I went into this actually not knowing who the Red Hood was, who Jason Todd was. I was actually blinded. I didn't get to read the comics yet. I didn't get there at that point. So I got to just watch the movie and enjoy it. And it just got better and better and better and better. And later on, I was like, wait a minute. Am I rooting for the Red Hood right now? Because it went from like Jason Todd dying, like, oh no, that's tragic. And then this mysterious guy shows up, and then it gets worse. It turns into a psychiatric battle between Batman basically failing, and he just couldn't get the job done with Joker because the whole movie kind of centers around them two and how Batman was too weak to kill Joker. That's what the ending climax is to, because Jason Todd doesn't care that he failed. He cares that Joker is still alive. He doesn't care that he just basically said, it wasn't really worth it. But that wasn't to Batman. And it strengthens Batman's no killing rule. Basically how he can't go down that path. It is too easy. Batman could easily do it, but he can't because that's not who he is and that's not what the city needs. It was just it honestly got really emotional near the ending. And it was like one of those movies I just really enjoyed. And that's actually why the Red Hood's my favorite character. And that's why I play him nonstop in Injustice 2 right now. I like what I like. He's not my Jason Todd is not my favorite Robin. He's my favorite aftermath of Robin.
Yeah, it's completely fair. So it's completely fair. So yeah, you have a lot of Red Hood merch sitting around the house of yours.
I have a good amount. I really tried my best to get a Funko Pop of Red Hood, and I tried so hard to get the one, and I couldn't get it, and I was like devastated. Like, no, I was this close to greatness.
Well, maybe jolly old Saint Nick will drop one down your chimney as a present for this holiday season. You never know.
Hopefully, I would not mind. I would not mind whatsoever.
That's a good way to kick things off with. Was it Batman Under the Red Hood? Now, for me, on the flip side of things, with me, my first pick. Listen, I grew up watching a lot of iterations of this character. I liked this character, but I wasn't a bigger fan of him until a certain show came along and just really, changed my life. And it still holds a very special place in my heart. Granted, it's a different iteration than the title I'm about to bring up, but that's beside the point. Now, as far as animated series goes, if you've never seen this series, or if you want to know more about this character known as the Man of Steel, check it out. It's Superman, the animated series. This is volume 1, so this is season 1 of Superman the animated series. It was 3 seasons in 4 years, ran from 1996 to the year 2000 on Kids WB Network for the time. And after sitting down and binge watching this, the first season anyway, I'm still in the process of I'm going to binge watch seasons 2 and 3 and see how it all turns out. But what I've seen thus far, this is a really, really good animated series with an incredible voice cast, really good animation, good storylines. They take a lot of lore and storylines from the original comics and put a little bit of a modern spin on it, because this is set in the same universe as Batman, the animated series, and it's also an updated, more modern take on the character, but it also shows how vulnerable Superman can be despite all his powers and all his strength. He's still, to a certain extent, more human than some of us will ever be. So I admire that about the people who worked behind the scenes and the voice cast and everyone who helped put this series together. So if you're looking for a holiday gift, my first pick, at least for this list thus far, Superman the Animated Series, check it out. It is available on Amazon or wherever you can buy Blu-rays, DVDs, and stuff like that. I believe it's going to be digitally remastered and repackaged as a Blu-ray set sometime in 2021. That's what I've been hearing. If that's true, I'll end up having 2 copies. I don't mind. It's Superman. I can't say no. So that's my first. No. So that's my first pick out of the gate for Superman the Animated Series. And then going back to Nick's first pick was Batman Under the Red Hood. Nick, we're going to switch things back over to you. What is your next pick for DC holiday gifts?
Well, before I get to, I agree with you with the whole Superman thing, and I'm sorry, I still gotta watch it. I am so sorry, Ryan. I feel like I let you down. I got my DC universe got canceled because of the whole HBO Max thing now. So I'm like, oh, I gotta keep going with this.
That's okay.
No, I gotta finish. I enjoyed the series.
Yeah, I'm not.
I will make you proud, Ryan.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So what's your next pick?
My next pick is actually one of the more recent ones, believe it or not. I'm actually shocked how good this was. It's actually Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Now, to be fair, I was not a fan of the recent DC Universe animated movies, like the ones that started with Justice League War and then like Throne of Atlantis and all those in that type of cinematic universe. It was all connected and it was really cool to see that, but it just felt like something was missing. And they also played them very safe. It's like, no, didn't really ever feel like there were big stakes because they said in the future it was connected universe. So it's like, oh, this is the MCU treatment, where I feel like these are just kind of filler episodes until the very end, if that makes which was an Infinity War Endgame. Yeah. This was that at Infinity War Endgame. Wow, did it deliver? I took back every mean thing I said about these movies. The voice acting, which I had a problem with, was on point. The story was the best. It started off with the heroes completely losing. Like they lost. It wasn't even like they lost. And like, all right, we're gonna regroup. They lost bad.
They were decimated.
Everyone, and it wasn't even like it was like, oh, they got punched and captured. No, they're getting like slaughtered. Like you're literally seeing people cut in half, like torn apart and stuff. Like, wait, this is what the hell? And it keeps getting darker and darker and darker and darker. And one of the best points for me was, this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but was with the connection to Flashpoint, which completely tied the whole movie for me. And it just turned into this great adventure of this mishmash of characters. Like the main group focused of Superman, John Constantine, who's one of my favorites, Raven, and Damian Wayne. That was the core group of your main characters out of all these teams. And it just, everyone basically kicked the bucket. Everyone was gone, basically. And in the end, I just kind of felt like the Ron Burgundy meme, where I'm just sitting like this, like, boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Mm-hmm.
But the best part of me was like the ending when Superman's trying to cheer everybody up, like, hey, we can fix this. And everyone is like clearly like done. And like they're just like, they don't want to do this anymore. So it's just like leading to the next adventure to me. But this was one of my favorite movies recently for them because the story was finally good to me. It felt like something was missing throughout these movies and they regained it. It had huge stakes. It had great voice acting, which I wasn't a fan of in these past movies. And it just kept surprising you with every turn. And it was just something I truly enjoyed from start to finish.
Yeah, it is certain. I mean, it lives up to its title. This is a
It
very dark,
absolutely does.
apocalyptic film where people are dying left and
It
right.
was
People are being decimated. Teams
it
are
was
being destroyed.
rated
Relationships are being torn apart. Some relationships are being questioned when their
it,
loyalties are
it was
are up.
rated R. I was shocked
It's
they did that. It was rated. They really just leaned right into it. They didn't
They
care.
really did. This is what I think in a way, I think this is what every DC hardcore DC fan would want to see on a bigger screen if it were possible. It's not because you have to, I mean, the actors, the amount of effects that have to go into it, like it's a big
That's
undertaking.
the
Hence the
problem.
reason why so many of their animated projects get so much love and critical acclaim because
That's
they
yeah.
adapt these stories, they do them with the budgets that they have, and they make it work.
But that's the problem I feel with a lot of superhero movies, like live action ones right now. They're
Hmm.
not really allowed to like do what they want with it, if that makes sense, because they want the sequels, they want the connected universes. With this, because it was the end, they gave them the go ahead to do whatever. Like it wasn't like they just killed off side characters; they killed off main characters. They killed the entire Green Lantern Corps. Aquaman was done in 5 seconds. Superman and Batman were both basically not Superman. I apologize. Batman and Wonder Woman were gone. Those are two of the big three. They were gone for most of the movie. A lot of the key members of the Justice League were dead. The side characters like Teen Titans and others were gone. And it was just like they did what they wanted, and it was a
Yeah.
great movie from that. And I
Was
truly
free.
just loved it.
Yeah, the creators and everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. It was free reign. Do whatever you want.
I
Have fun with this, or just tear everybody apart if you want. Have the audience left
It's
wondering.
like, wait, I'm
Is anyone
allowed
gonna
to
make it?
do what I want when I want. Is that what you're saying? And I feel like the owners were like, yes. How
No,
many
it's
people were you gonna kill? Like, oh, a lot. Like we gonna
ba-
get a lot.
basically saying they have full creative control,
They
which
had
is what
full.
they
They just went crazy with it.
which is what they should have.
They
Well,
should have.
to bring things, still somewhat dark, but not exactly called Justice League Dark. For my next pick, it actually is a Justice League centered movie, but it's one of the more modern day ones, and it's based on the comic book storyline of the same name, known as Flashpoint, written by Jeff Johns and Andy
I love
Kubert.
that movie. I
This would
love that
be
movie.
Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox is the name of the movie. The actual title of the book is just simply called Flashpoint, if I'm not mistaken. But so this is a what if kind of scenario. Justice League: Flashpoint Paradox. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a what if scenario. What if the Flash went back, saved his mother, had his happily ever after, but then everything else around him just kind of turned on its head and went completely haywire when you have the the people from Atlantis going up against the women of Themyscira. What do you get? You get a global war that's going to potentially kill every single human being and hero or villain on the planet. It's not a good scenario, but it's a cool what if this were to happen scenario. I mean, hey, we all have different opinions and feelings and dreams about certain storylines. So there you go. I really enjoyed this. I read the graphic novel, love it to pieces. It's one of my top
I
three
agree.
favorite graphic novels of all time.
I
And
agree.
yeah, the
I agree
adaptation of the
because
storyline in the animated universe, I thought it was really good. Now, granted, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, specifically with the scenario involving the Joker side of things. Like,
yeah, because yeah,
what if
you're
that
right.
person went completely nuts and became the new Joker? I would have liked to have seen more of that, just saying. But outside of a few little nitpicky details of this film here and there, I still enjoyed it. I think it's really good adaptation, and the book itself is incredible. So if you're looking for more Justice League things, my next pick is Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. Now, if you have any thoughts or questions or comments or suggestions about DC holiday themed gifts, drop them in the live chat because I'm already seeing a few people I should say chime in, and we really appreciate it. So we're going to go back over to Nick, round this thing out. Pick number 3. What's it going to be?
Pick number 3. I actually have one that it actually got me into DC. Like this was the first thing I ever watched, and it's the OG Justice League cartoon that like all the way back. You had Kevin Conroy as Batman, and it was all that cast. The reason I'm saying this one is because I first watched the Secret Origins movie, which I think I saw that like a million times when I was a kid, and I loved it to death. And I didn't know this was an animated series until like years and years and years later when I'm like, oh, wait, this is a show. There's more I can watch. So I actually did that. I binged the entire thing. I probably wasted so much work time watching this during the time, but I did not have any regrets. I'm sorry about that. Regrets. This was one of my favorite animated things I've ever seen because the stories got better and better. The cast had great great chemistry. You could see that they were truly trying to deliver their lines. And it didn't shy away from a little darker themes. Like it went with dark side and how Superman was on a hell-bent mission to basically end him. And then the last season of the OG one sees like a traitor in their midst. I don't really want to spoil this one because this is a good one. There's a traitor in their midst, and it's this whole invasion, and it has repercussions to the follow-up series, Justice League Unlimited, which I still loved also. That was not as good just because it got away from the core I loved, but the storylines and the writing is still good. I like the core a little more of the OG. Don't get me wrong. I loved Unlimited. Do not get me wrong. But the chemistry and the writing of the OG characters is what I loved of the original series. That was personally me, though. I love that series.
No,
that one has a special place in my heart.
No, it's nothing wrong with that because Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, they go together because they're all the same, pretty much the same show. Just Unlimited takes it in a little bit of a different creative direction and adds more and more members. Hence the reason it's called Unlimited.
They turned into an army. They went from like a small group of Goo-Didders to like full-fledged army. Like they're going against it.
It's like 400 characters or something. I mean, 400 is a bit of a stretch, but it's just a lot. Let's put it that way.
They reached in the bottom of the barrel. There was a guy called Vigilante in that. He was really just a cowboy.
Hey, he was voiced by Nathan Fillion. So
I have so much respect for Nathan Fillion. Actually, now that I feel bad, I didn't know that was Nathan Fillion.
No, I think he either I believe it was Vigilante or one of the other characters, but I'm pretty sure it was Vigilante that Nathan Fillion was the voiceover for. If anyone, if I get my facts wrong, drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear about it. Now, really good picks. I'm more of a Justice League Unlimited fan than an original Justice League fan, but then again, they're both great series within their own right.
That's just personally me.
That's fine. I look forward to sitting down and rewatching Justice League as well as Justice League Unlimited. It's on my list of things I'm going to get after the holidays.
And I'm not
around the holiday season, I should say.
Before you pick your last one, I'm not going to lie. That's why I got really excited and I had so much hope for the live action Justice League. Because I'm like, it's fine. They'll save my childhood. It's good. It's fine. And then the first 10 minutes happened, and I'm like, it's fine. They can redeem themselves. It kept going, and it just got worse.
It kept going and going
and worse.
It's like the Energizer Bunny. It just kept going.
It just kept going, and I'm like, you ruined my childhood. Why? That's why I'm excited for the Snyder cut.
It needs to
redeem it really bad. It needs to.
Which is supposed to come out in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So
it's coming out on HBO Max, yeah.
In 2021. So stay tuned for that. More details will be released as they become available. Because I don't think the trailer ever said a specific date. It just said 2021. It just kept saying
2021 because I think they're keeping that very under wraps. But let's get back to why we're here.
Sure. Yes, of course. We can talk more about that later. But yes, so to round this thing out, to round our lists out, my third and final pick for DC holiday gifts for either your family members, your coworkers, your neighbors, or yourself. Treat yourself. That would be Batman Mask of the Phantasm. This is a film from 1993. It is based on the animated series of the same name. It takes place in that same universe, but this movie came out a year after the animated series started airing. And I gotta say, growing up watching this movie, I wished I would have seen it in theaters. Because that is one of those films where
It was released in theaters, you're right.
It was. It had a very limited theatrical release, but then when it was released on home video, it gained an enormous cult following, and for good reason, because it's a great film within its own right. And also, a lot of people, some fans out there, there's an argument to be made that Batman Mask of the Phantasm is arguably the greatest Batman film ever made. Some people have said that. Some people have said that, and there's an argument to be had about it. But anyway, aside from that, this is a great film. Wonderful voice cast. You learn more about the history of Bruce Wayne. You learn more about his arch nemesis, the Joker. You learn more about some of his past love interests, which play a vital role in him becoming the Dark Knight. So without giving anything else away, treat yourself, watch the movie, get it as a gift for your family or your friends. You're not going to be disappointed. Any of these 6 different titles that we have presented to you, you're not going to be disappointed. So to wrap this up, Brian was commenting a little bit earlier on about one of our picks. More specifically, he was talking about Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Brian says Matt Ryan was great in that film. And he also
Ryan deserves to be the live-action Constantine in that new Justice League Dark series.
I would love to see that happen. If it comes to fruition, I wouldn't say no.
He is basically the Kevin Conroy of John Constantine. He does the voice. He does the voice acting work to a perfect
and live
tune,
action
and
on
he
Legends
gets
of
to do the
Tomorrow.
live action of Legends of Tomorrow.
That's very true.
He
So he's
absolutely
multitasker.
deserves. He carries that movie so much, and I didn't even give him credit when I was talking about it. I apologize,
No,
but
it's
he
all, no,
absolutely carries that.
no, it's all good. And then Brian goes on to say that movie, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, he says it's great to be presented in 4K.
I actually had to get a streaming thing. I didn't get to see it in 4K.
No, it's fine. Brian won't be quiet about how great 4K is, and I'm thinking to myself, Brian, I haven't seen a movie in 4K. I mean, maybe I've seen a few in the theaters because they have advanced projectors nowadays. But then again, 2020 has been a weird year for very obvious reasons. But aside from that, if you have any thoughts about any of these titles, or if you want to throw some other titles to us, leave any and all your thoughts in the comment section below when this video is on our YouTube channel. If you're watching this replay, great. If you joined us live, we appreciate it. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for DC holiday gifts. We want to wish you, your families, and your friends a happy holiday season. Please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay strong. And you can find Nick, myself, and everyone else here at the team of Neuroculture on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at It's Neuroculture. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel. New videos are being posted each and every week. We got plenty of gifts still to come, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, enjoy your holiday season and
Happy
watch
holidays,
some animated
everybody.
movies and TV series because DC is awesome.
They
Have a good one,
make up.
everybody.
They make up for it.